First question up front, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Thank you, Jerry. Coach, two things. The wow factor of this game, wow, right?
Yeah.
But then Dallin Hayden replacing Travion and y'all sticking with him, and the way he ran was almost exactly what you needed it to look like. Just maybe address those two things.
Yeah, we didn't quite get the running game going there in the first half, and then made the change to Dallin, and he really got us into a rhythm. I thought he was hitting the holes hard. Right after the block punt there, two good hard runs, and that was good. And then from there on, I thought, and he almost broke a couple. I mean, almost did. But for a young player with so much on the line here today, to play like that, first off, to take care of the football, it's the number one thing. When you hand somebody that football, you're putting the whole team in their hands, and that's something we talk about a lot. And so we trusted that Dallin was going to do that. He's had a couple spots this year, but this was big, and for him to get this game under his belt, I think will build some confidence for him.
And then the wow factor of this game, obviously, Michigan escaped against Illinois. Now you guys escaped basically today. The big setups for next week.
Yeah. When you're playing on, in November in the Big Ten, I mean, these are challenges week in and week out, and the number one goal is to win and move on. There's been times this year we've had style points, if you want to say, and we've won big, but there's going to be games where you don't jump out as fast as you would like to. We kind of got that first drive going, and okay, here we go. It's going to be one of those days, and then it just wasn't quite that way, and there's some reasons for that we need to clean up. But what I think was the most important thing was at halftime we came together and said, okay, this is going to be a 4-quarter battle now. And sometimes we get in these games and they're not, but this was going to be, and we really buckled down in the third quarter and did a nice job there, and then finished out the game the way that we should.
Over to the left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, you guys gave up 293 passing yards today. How much of a concern is that as you get into a point of the season where you're going to face more top quarterbacks?
Yeah, it usually isn't about the yards, but I thought Talia played his heart out today. I thought he played really well, did a nice job, but. Yeah, I mean, there's some plays in there that we're going to look at and try to, address what's going on there, because certainly we'd like to see better play. But there's good players in this league, and they're gonna get yards. I thought our defense did a good job of, forcing field goals at times, especially early in the game. But our number one goal and the plan to win is to play great defense, and. They did throw for too many yards today, for sure. But we'll take a look and try to figure that part of it out.
Austin Ward, Rivals.
Ryan, it's easy and probably unfair for us outside the program to say, well, maybe they just were looking ahead to next week, because a lot of us maybe already were. Did you sense that at all throughout the week or at any point today that the focus wasn't there?
It's hard to say. I just got done with the team, and you probably can imagine what the first thing that was said is, it's on the team up north.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to do that when guys just, put their bodies on the line. I mean, that was a hard-fought game out there. When you're playing the game of football, it's not like any other sport like basketball where you go out there and you run up and down the court and shoot a little bit. I mean, you're putting your body on the line. And these guys strained and they played hard. And to see Lathan block another punt, to see Dallin come in to play the way he did, the offensive line was grinding, the defensive line, to see Zach Harrison get that fumble at the end, guys kept playing, and Tommy Eichenberg playing hard. I mean, there was a lot of guys. So they still need to be recognized for that. You can't just go through the motions and think you're going to win a conference game like this on the road. All that being said, our number one goal is to beat the team up north, and so now we're into week 11, and you can't just show up and win these games. You have to fight and play, but we're already into the team up north week.
Over to the right, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Huddle.
Hey, Ryan, now that you can start talking about Michigan, how hard has it the last year been, like, living with a loss to Michigan?
Yeah, that has not been easy. Hasn't been good. We'll probably talk about it more this week, but looking forward to the preparation, and our guys have been focused on it all off season, and during the season it's always been the back of our minds. We work it every day of the year, and so the week is officially here.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, did this game conjure up memories of 4 years ago at times, and we know Maryland's got talent. They haven't always put it together. Was this kind of Maryland to you?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're very dangerous. They're very athletic, real good cover guys. Obviously, Talia is very talented. He's had some good weapons on the outside. I thought, those guys played good, just looking at their numbers. But, yeah, I mean, that was it. And The field goal or the extra point there when we went for 2, that right there was a mistake that we can't let happen. We got to delay a game, and then in that situation we want the tackle to come over. We didn't put the tackle over, so we had a short edge, and that blocks, and so that cost us 3 points. So I was very upset after that. And when those things start happening, all of a sudden it could turn into a bad situation fast, and it almost did. But I give our guys credit; they kept fighting and they refused to lose.
Clay Hall, WSYX.
Does it matter how you go into next week coming off this high? Is that a huge thing, or will it be tough to bring them down?
I mean, I think if you look over the years, there's probably been times when, for instance, last year it was 49-0 at halftime when we played Michigan State. It was a top 10 team, and then lost the game. There's other times where you limp into the game and you win the game. So at this point, it's just a matter of going to win the game. And I know they were in a battle today. It's playing in the Big Ten in November.
Nathan Barrett, Cleveland.com.
Right, just first to clarify, so Dallin stayed in the second half more for performance reasons than any re-injury to Trevion?
No, we did hold Trey there at one point. Yeah, it got to the point where we just decided we weren't going to put him in anymore.
Okay, and just those inside cuts that Dallin was making, what does that mean for this offense?
Well, I mean, he's seeing it. He's seeing it, and I think when you see him hit it, he's running through contact. I mean, you can just feel him. He's got really good feet, made some guys miss. Even at the end there when it was the 4-minute drill, they had everybody in there. And if you throw it and get an incompletion, then they don't use one of their timeouts. So we had to run it to eat up the clock. As frustrating as that is and as hard as that is, you got to do it. But that being said, there was a couple of guys in the hole that were extra guys that he made miss and kept those things moving, kept the chains moving, and got us on schedule. And I thought it was well done.
Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, for Latham to block a punt for the second time, just his play on that drive specifically to give you guys that momentum, what does that say about him yet another week?
I mean, production. And in today's day and age, there's a lot of things that go on and said and everything like that. This guy's producing. I mean, to block 2 punts in back-to-back weeks. I mean, I don't know if has that been done before at Ohio State. I don't know. I'll have to look, but that's amazing. And that was a really huge point of the game and got us a lot of momentum.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Right, coming into this week last year, CJ was probably coming off the ultimate high given how he performed in that game. Where do you feel like he is heading into that week once again with what he's been able to do these last couple weeks? And then also, you have the update on Matthew Jones. What happened there?
Yeah, Matt got rolled up on. I quickly saw Sean on the way out. I didn't get an answer on what exactly his situation is. But no, I mean, it was one of those games you kind of had to manage a little bit, and I thought CJ did that. We got a couple, got a holding call there and a few things down the line. I thought that it was a clutch, unbelievable throw and catch there. Just competing. It wasn't exactly the way we drew it up, but he competed, made the throw, and Emeka made a great catch, and that kept us going, which was huge, and ultimately kind of ate up enough clock to allow us to kind of end the game.
Bill Landis, Rivals.
Ryan, I want to make sure I ask this right because I know Trevion's trying to be tough and just help the team and play through stuff. But even on that long play at the start of the game, he didn't look comfortable. He was grimacing in pain. What went into the decision to play him? And then looking back, was that best for him and best for the offense?
Yeah. He had a great week of practice. We decided to shut him down last week to see, how that would go, and had really good week of practice. Really didn't have much pain, and so he's trying to figure out, what that's going to be like, playing in the game with his situation. And so he's still kind of working through that, and we'll keep evaluating it day after day.
Did you feel like it held back? Because he's averaging less than 2 yards a carry. It puts you in difficult third down situations. Like, did that hinder the offense at all, just not having a guy who was 100%?
I think I got to probably watch the film and just see that before I answer that. But I know what you're asking.
Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Brian, you had at least 1 4th and 1 where you threw the ball. And then you talked about you got to put your hand in the dirt, you got to get that yard.
Yep.
And you didn't. Is that just you being aggressive? Is it, I'm not sure we can get that yard? And where are you in that whole process?
On that one in particular, I felt like we had a really good matchup out there with Marvin, and actually we did, and he had a lot of cushion, and he was open, but I was kind of looking at the coverage to see what was going on, but with CJ, there was obviously leakage in there, and it was a max protection, so it should have been a nice clean pocket, and it should have been a pretty easy throw and catch. We thought schematically it was a good play, and that was kind of more of what our thought process was as opposed to trying to prove something or anything like that at that point. but we didn't execute it, and so again, get to the film and figure out how to execute it better next time.
We'll go a couple more folks. Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you guys are 12-0 since you lost to Michigan. Where do you feel like this team is, this program is, heading now back into the game?
Well, I think we're more experienced. I think we're, we've been scarred, even though, like you said, we've been on a 12-game run. Coming off of that game, we were highly motivated this season to get back to where we are right now. So there's been a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get back to where we are right now and get the team to this point right here. So now all the chips go in, and now it's time to go to work this week and have a great week in preparation for the game on Saturday.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, any idea why penalties were so high today, especially some of the delay of game stuff?
They were winding it fast coming off the sideline, and one of them I got to get in faster. Another one that I think CJ maybe lost the clock. How many we ended up having? 11. Yeah, that's too many. So I don't know if I have a great answer for that. I know that a couple of those administratively we could have done a better job. One of them, I don't think one of the guys was set when we called it. We got the penalty at the end of the game there. The guys went crazy down there in the end zone, so they threw a flag there. So I guess it was 11-10 in the penalties. But, we'll have to go figure out and do a little running tomorrow. Coaches run, too, when there's penalties. So I'll have to do a little running and get a workout in.
Yeah. All right, come on, Dallin. Anybody else with one? Okay, we're going to go two more with Coach Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, just the last two plays ended by the defense. Obviously, not perfect all day, but they step up. And what was that like on the sideline? You mentioned the celebration.
Yeah.
That whole season.
Well, I thought the 4-minute drill was pretty well done. We didn't quite ice the game, but we ate up a lot of clock and got a couple first downs, ate up all 3 timeouts, and then got the thing down to inside of a minute. And then you got to make a decision on 4th down. Was it a 45-yarder? I think it was right at 45. We had the one blocked earlier, but that was because we didn't have the tackle over us. It still felt confident that we could protect, and felt like at that point, if you make the field goal, then now they have to score a touchdown to beat you, and that was the bottom line there. Could have gone for it, and I guess what was it, probably 4th and 6 or 7. Just felt like that was the right thing to do. Make the field goal, great execution, big time. And that's clutch by Noah to make that field goal. We get really good coverage on the kickoff. They've done a nice job all year. They have some talented guys who did a nice job getting that thing down inside the 10. And then at that point, they need some big chunks. So, we call a defense where, we're going to kind of keep it in front of us, but those guys still got after the quarterback, and I think a 3-man rush and 2 big sacks and end the game. And great to see the guys finish the game like that, not, worried about all those other things other than just winning the game. And and then really big time play by Zach there at the end.
Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic. Last question for Coach.
Ryan, I'm kind of off that. Obviously, Zach makes those 2 plays, but
yeah.
You look at the Penn State game, the defensive line, JT comes up big when you need him. This defensive line all year has come up big when you needed him. In turn, they've been, he probably even more motivated than some since that Michigan game. What's it been like to see their growth from that game a year ago to where they are now?
Yeah, I think they take a lot of pride in their production, and I think that's really, the most important thing is are you making plays or are you not? And that's not always seen by the interior guys, because a lot of times they're taking on blocks so the linebackers can run down and make tackles. So I think when you see Tehran and you see Ty Hamilton and you see Mike Hall and those guys, so they don't always maybe get the production that we all see, but when they're knocking back the line of scrimmage, that's what's really, really important. And boy, is that going to be important next week. We're going to have a team that's going to try to run it right at us, and so we're going to have to really do a great job on the inside. We have to do a good job on the edge, and our linebackers have to play big.
You get the sense Mayan will be back next week?
That is the hope, and it was trending that way. So, yep.
Coach, thank you very much.
You got it, guys.
All right, folks, we're going to have Dallin Hayden sit down.
All right, Dallin.
Answer a few questions. Go ahead, front row, Tim May, Columbus, Letterman row.
Yeah. Hey, Dallin, what were your instructions from Coach Alford and maybe Coach Day and stuff when they finally put you in the game, especially going into that second half there? Was it hit the hole as blocked? Just give us a little insight on.
I just told me trust whatever I see, and most importantly, take care of the ball.
Yeah. And What was that like to get that call in a game like this with the season on the line, on the brink, really?
I mean, I just knew I had to be ready. Like when my numbers called, you know, they needed me to go in, and I felt like I was ready. And my teammates were very encouraging, so that always helps.
Dallin, over to the left here, Bill Landis, rivals.
Dallin, it looked like at halftime or before you all were about to come out, you were sitting on the bench and Riley was talking to you for quite a bit. What was he telling you, I guess, to kind of keep in your mind as you were getting ready to go out there?
He was just telling me calm down, you know. It's obvious, you know, as a true freshman, sometimes you can get overwhelmed, but I felt like I was good, and he was just being motivating like he always is.
Right next door, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
You were hitting those inside cutbacks like pretty naturally throughout the second half today. Is there something since you got here that Coach Alford has emphasized through drills or something like that that's helped you hit those the way you were?
Yes, drills. He does a lot of good drills for our tailbacks, and then film. Like we usually like watch film pretty closely, and like so yes.
Well, what is it that you like see on film that's helped you recognize those better?
Just like where plays are supposed to hit and what you're supposed to look at, like pre-snap, and I feel like that's big.
Over here to the right, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch. We'll get you.
Have you had to learn, I mean, I don't know if you dance a little bit when you run because you're not doing it out there. Have you had to kind of scale it back and just hit the hole, go north-south? Is that something that's been easy, hard, or is that just naturally who you are?
I feel like I've always naturally been able to just hit the hole and get downhill and get vertical. Never really been like a dancing type of back. So yeah, I feel like it's natural.
And how hard is it to not have the moment be too big? I mean, you said that you felt pretty good, but in this situation, the game's on the line. Does that cross your mind? Where are you kind of mentally, emotionally with what's happened in the moment?
I just always try to maintain a next play mentality. You know, you're gonna have good plays, bad plays. You just can't like think about the last play. Just keep moving forward. I feel like that's helped me.
And what do you need to work on still? I mean, you look pretty good out there. Blocking, anything like that?
I feel like I can always get better. You know, running, blocking, stronger. But I feel like that'll come with experience.
Gentleman over here to the right.
Yeah, so what does that mean for you to be able to perform like this today when your number is called?
I mean, it just feel like it just means like I can show my coaches that they can trust to put me in, and like if they need me, like I can be there for them.
And Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Don, when you got here in the summer, what were your expectations for what this season could be? And obviously, assuming 3 touchdowns in a road game might not have been on that list. Where does this rank in terms of things that you've been able to do here so far?
I mean, I would say it ranks pretty high, but I know I still got to get better. But like coming in, like I honestly didn't know what to expect, especially since I was a summer enrollee, and usually with us summer guys, it like kind of takes time for us to learn everything. But I feel like this summer I locked in, learned the playbook, and it just helped me, honestly.
How'd you ace that learning curve so easily? Or so, you know, how did you get here? Like, you seem to be past that learning curve that guys come into the summer with. How did you get there?
Well, I feel like I had the best running back coach in the country, and then Coach Jeffers just as well. So they helped me like get through the learning curve, I'd say. And then I come from a football background, so I feel like that helps just as well.
And final question for Dallin, Kevin Noon, right in the center field there.
Down,
Buckeye huddle.
You haven't cracked a smile yet. Is this not sunk in, or are you just a chill guy? I mean, you think you'd have like a lot of emotion about this.
I mean, no, I'm just a chill guy. Yeah, just pretty chilled. Media sometimes I can be nervous, but I feel like I'm trying to get better at that.
And we one more, Dallin, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Down, you had I think 27 carries tonight, and a lot of those came in the second half. Is there any game in high school that you had a workload like this, or anything?
Man, I had a lot of carries in high school. I mean, a lot of people would just say it was run me. So yeah, I've had a workload in high school before.
So this isn't too bad.
Nah.
It doesn't a workload here feel different than working in high school?
Oh yeah, it feels way different. I mean, guys are obviously bigger, stronger, faster. Yeah, it's way different than high school for sure.
Great. Dallin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dallin.
This game, to win it and to go into next week on that note.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, being able to come out here against a tough Maryland team, get a victory, being 11-0. So, I mean, it's a blessing to be able to say that. It's something that we worked on before the offseason and in the season. So, I mean, it's a tough battle. It's like going uphill in these type of environments, and definitely I'm glad we came out with the victory.
Is it better to go into next week with a dub?
Yeah, of course. You don't want to lose. So, yeah.
Dallin Hayden seemed like the right tonic, at least for the running game, when he got in there and stuff. I mean, there's a freshman giving his all. What do you think about Dallin Hayden at this point, CJ?
Yeah, Dallin's a hard worker. He's definitely been preparing like a pro, so I'm super proud of him, super happy for him. Definitely did a great job toting the ball and taking care of it. So super proud of him, and I think there is more to come.
Is that the kind of coverage as you've seen this year from the defense? I mean, they seem to be running with the receivers pretty well for the most part. What was your take on that?
No, not really. I mean, I think that, yeah, of course, we knew that their DB core was pretty good, and we were going to have to attack them not only down the field, but in intermediate situations. So we just got to be more crisp, got to just be better, you know what I'm saying? So I think at the end of the day, winning in 11-0, man, that's still pretty good to me. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough playing late in the season, man. It gets hard because every team wants to chip you off. So
the defensive brothers
that in the week, you know, obviously you're thinking about it every time. But how often have you thought about that last year's Michigan game? And now that we're in this week, you know, how are you thinking about it? How you were approaching it?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Of course, we've been licking our wounds for 365 days, hearing all the laughing, all everything that everybody's been saying. So I definitely think that we've been preparing for it, not only on the field but in the weight room as well. So, man, we're very excited.
CJ, Emeka had been hard on himself for a couple of drops the last couple of weeks. He came up with a couple really big ones for you late. How had he responded? How did you see him stay consistent maybe throughout that?
I mean, he's been battling through injury, and that's never fun. You know what I mean? So I think that he'll definitely be. He's getting healthy, and he's going to continue to be a great football player. I mean, my faith has never went down in him. He's always going to be Emeka Ibuka to me, which is a great football player and a great man of God. So I definitely think he has better things to come.
One last question.
What does it say about the depth of this team with injuries to Jackson and then the backfield? It seems like someone's always stepping up. What's that like for you as a quarterback?
Right, yeah. It just shows that, I mean, the type of stamina that we have, being competitive and the competitive excellence. Whenever your number's called, you answer the bell. And we prepare like that, next man up mentality, but it's been hard. Of course, I wish my brothers were still out here playing with me, like Jackson and mine and everybody else who's been missing out. But I definitely think that when you find ways to win, I mean, that's all you can ask for. This team is very tough. I love the way we competed tonight, even though it wasn't pretty. I don't think a lot of games today were pretty, if I can remember. So at the end of the day, man, it's about the next game. It's about just winning. So if we can find a way to win, and all glory to God. So
CJ,
thank y'all.
Thanks, CJ. He's got